Corey, Waterjet cutting technology here from Kerf Developments. Why have you gone down this path?
Well, the main reason is because of the quality that we needed to attain. We were purchasing quite a lot of Waterjet cut parts, but the quality just wasn't good enough. And also, we can control it in-house, the speed that we can put things into our workshop. We don't need to wait for parts to come in, and it's basically just overall control, really.
I'm really interested in this technology as well, because it is quite different to some of the stuff that we look at MTD CNC. Just tell me a little bit about how Waterjet works in your eyes, and the fact here we've got two heads. Does that mean we get two parts? Just give us an overview of the machine and its capabilities.
Okay, so our machine has got two heads, and it's one axis with a splitter. So basically, whatever one head does, the other head does. So yeah, you get two components at the same time.
What about the pressure of the water coming through? Is it just water, or is there a granular formula with it as well? Tell me about those features.
It actually mixes the water with a component called garnet. Now you purchase the garnet, it actually comes from Australia. It's like a sandy type material, yeah. You can actually see it in the hopper up there. And we buy it in 2 ton at a time, and basically it mixes with the water and the high pressure, which forms an abrasive, which can then that's the cutting tool.
Now the cutting tool itself, how accurate do you get your part off? I mean, let's pick one of these up, okay, Corey, and you can, because this is what you're doing, isn't it, on the machine? How accurate can you make this, and why have you selected Waterjet to do this process? Because to me, you could make that on other machines, but I'm interested in how fast it is and why it is this Waterjet that's the manufacturing process.
The reason why we selected Waterjet for this component is because it's quite an intricate part. There's lots and lots of shape on there. We could have wire rolled them, we could have CNC machined them, but there's a lot of operations. So the Waterjet cuts within the tolerance. We're allowed, I believe, 0.1 millimetres on taper. So all the sizes have got to be within 0.1 millimetre. And it cuts very, very accurate, actually, every single time. As long as we keep on top of the consumable items, like the nozzles, and the quality of everything else, seals, it cuts a perfect job.
That's aluminium, and this plate on here is what it's coming out of. Yeah. Strikes me there's going to be a lot of remnant from this. How do you cope with that, and what's your answer to that?
Well, what we do with the remnant is any orifices that are scrap, we cut smaller components into the scrap. So the scrap then is minimised.
So this here is an example of another part you're making out of the same plate, correct?
Exactly. So this is one of the components which we're making, which is a frame with lots and lots of cutouts. We've got other features to machine into these components afterwards. But then in the small remnants, we can cut the small parts. And the computer software is very, very good, actually. It actually auto nests it into the remnant for you, which was supplied by Kerf as well.
So it knows that you want as little waste as possible, don't you? So
exactly right. Well, we don't like throwing things in the bin because we don't get anything for it. You know, we can only make parts out of these. Now, a good part is that sometimes the customer will only order these, so we cut these into stock out of the waste, so it's not going in the bin.
It's very efficient. Now the plate itself just sits on the base of the machine as well, doesn't it? It's not securely clamped or anything, but it doesn't need to be, does it?
No, gravity holds it down. So that's 8mm thick aluminium. When it's finished, it weighs around about, I think, 12 kilos.
What was interesting to me as well is you said that somebody had tried to laser cut these for you, but they couldn't do it because it was aluminium. You couldn't keep the parts flat. You don't get those problems with a Waterjet cutter, do you?
It's the heat generation. Because it's water, there's no heat generation, so the parts aren't swelling, they're not warping, they're exactly as we want them to the size. So basically what we do, we draw these in CAD, import it into the software and cut. That's it. There's no programming really.
And for you, this part, there's ongoing processes to this part, isn't there? You then take it and do some milling and some turning, I believe.
That's right, yeah. After it's been cut, we put them on our DMG machine, which puts in 2 holes, bores them out to a bearing fit, machines 2 angles on them, and then that's it. Then it goes for anodising then.
Is there any other materials you do on this machine?
Yeah, we cut every single type of material that we can cut. We do steel, plastic, tough null, all sorts.
And when you're doing those types of materials, does the control help you in programming so it will work out what speeds and feeds the machine needs to operate, and the delivery of the water, the pressure, and all those things, so you cut the right material in the right way?
The software does that. The software is offline. It's in our CAD room. So basically, we put in what type of material we're cutting. It exports all the relevant parameters to the machine. The machine will only do what it's told. So it's only as good as the software, really. What we find is that we'll cut it as it says, and we may increase or decrease the speed depending on what what sort of accuracies we're trying to attain. Because sometimes the software may try to cut too quickly, and we'll then slow it down, and we'll find the optimum range of settings, really.
Probably like to conclude this interview with two things. Firstly, the Waterjet technology for you, and the competition against this Optima machine from Kerf when you were looking to buy it. Why did this win? And secondly, your relationship with Kerf and how the journey has been thus far.
The reason I selected Kerf is I purchased my first ever profile burning machine from them, and I've had no problems with them whatsoever. I'm quite lucky in the fact that they are very, very close by to me, only 2 miles up the road. That was another significant factor in that. Also, whenever I ring up for consumable items, they're in stock. They can send them out to me next day, or I can go and collect them. That was another deciding factor, really. But it was mainly the relationship from buying my first profile burning machine, which is the reason why.
And the fact that this is a machine was new to you, wasn't it? Waterjet technology. You needed, I suppose, a company that you could trust and had got some history with.
Yeah, it was a brand new technology to me, so I needed somebody that's going to give us a lot of backup. It's the same whenever we're going to a new technology, you've got to have somebody that can back you up. Without the backup, it's just a machine sat there waiting for assistance, really.
Thanks, Corey.